Alright, today I will be ranking all the plants from Plants vs. Zombies 1, mainly for pool survival mode, since that's the mode that I play most often when I play Plants vs. Zombies 1, and that's the mode that a lot of people like to play. So we'll start off with the Blover. Put Blover in C. It's a good way to get rid of the the balloon guys if you're not building like cattails or cactuses. Cabbage. Put Cabbage in D. Just a stronger pea shooter because it can hit the scuba guys, but other than that, it's not that much. Cactus, I'll put Cactus in F. There's practically no point in building Cactus if you have cattails, and even then, you can bypass the balloon guys if you have Blover, so Cactus pretty much useless in this game. Cattails, put Cattails in A. I use Cattails a lot, but if there's a lot of zombies, Cattails can get overwhelmed and not be able to get all of them. So that's what keeps them out of S tier. Cherry Bomb, S tier. Probably the best crowd control plant in the entire roster. But yeah, Cherry Bomb is just a great plant overall. Can kill a whole horde if you really need to. Chomper, F. It takes way too long to chew zombies, and you can only eat a single zombie anyways. At that point, you might as well just Cherry Bomb or Jalapeno. You can get plenty of other guys with that one hit. The Corn Launcher. Put it in A. The only reason it's not an S is because it takes up two spaces, and also if you are not really skilled with using your shots, you might get screwed over. Especially if you can't defend them from the gargantuars throwing their imps. If you place them in the wrong area, then yeah. Coffee Bean. We'll put Coffee Bean in B tier. Or not B, C tier. It honestly just depends on what night plants you really want to use. Like Doom Shroom. I think I'll put Doom Shroom in A tier. It could probably go in S tier, but I'm gonna put it in A. Only because you have to wake him up. However, that also means you can just stockpile a bunch of Doom Shrooms, so yeah. Probably top of A tier. I think I'll keep him here. The Potted Plant. Hmm. I think I'll put it in E, because I don't know why you would ever want to, but if you want to use the Potted Plant, then plant your plant on here in pool survival. You could as like an extra, not even 1 second of defense, but hey, every second counts, so maybe. Fume Shroom? Put the Fume Shroom in B. It's really nice that it can go through multiple zombies and hit all of them at once. Plus, it doesn't have awful range, so a good B tier. Garlic? I think Garlic will go in D. I think the only use is if you're doing some funny garlic strats, but other than that, yeah. The Gatling P, we'll put him in A. Yeah, not much you can really go wrong with him. As long as you build a decent defense, he can do massive damage, especially with the Torchwood in front of him. The Gloom Shroom. Put Gloom Shroom in A as well. Probably the best plant to have in your back lines to fend off miners. Plus, it also helps that they go through zombies and can do massive damage as well. The Gold Magnet, put an F. Who's really trying to collect coins in pool survival? Graybuster, F. Only because there's no graves in pool survival. Hypno Shroom. I have to put Hypno Shroom in D tier, I think. Only because Hypno Shroom, any zombie that can eat the Hypno Shroom will be practically obliterated by Zombonis or Gargantuars in the late game. The Freeze Shroom. Put him in B. I think the freeze that he gives off is pretty nice. And it could also save you if you're in a pickle. Imitator, I think he deserves a tier on his own. I'll keep that red at a row above him. Turn this one white. Imitator. And throw him up there. Jalapeno, same thing as cherry bomb. S tier. Could argue which one of these is the best crowd control, but both of them are practically game savers. The kettle corn, I'll put in D as well. It does less damage than the cabbage, but the stun that I can sometimes do is pretty good. Lily pad, I'll put in A tier, because lily pads are practically a mandatory in pool survival, but if you really wanted to, I guess you don't have to use lily pads. Magnus room, I'll put Magnus room in D. Yeah, it can be useful early game, but late game, when there's like 12 footballers on the screen, Magnus rooms are practically useless no matter how many you have. Marigold, put an F, just there for coin grinding. The Melon Pult, easy S tier. Massive damage plus splash damage, yeah, easy S tier. Pea Shooter, I'll put in D. It's just cabbage pulp, but it can't shoot under the water. Although it can get boosted by Torchwood. But at that point, you might as well just build Split Pea or Repeater. The Lantern has to go in F2 because Pool Survival has no fog. Potato Mine, put him in C tier. I think it's a great way to stall in the early game. Try to get as much sun as you can before the Horde comes. Puff Shroom, I guess I'll put Puff Shroom in C. Because you could use your coffee beans to wake him up. Or you could just use it on anything better than the Puff Shroom. But with their zero cost and practically infinite cooldown, you just spam them as the wall. Pumpkin, another easy S. Practically a walnut for each plant. Repeater, put Repeater in C. Just a better pea shooter. Scaredy Shroom, I think I'll put it in D. Yeah, I don't think I've ever used Scaredy Shroom in pool survival. So he's not an awful plant, just there are better options. The Sea Shroom, same thing as Puff Shroom, but you can actually use them on the water. Snow Pea, I'll put in C tier. I think the slow effect is pretty useful. And then Spike Rock and Spike Weed, they can go in S tier. Probably the best use to get rid of catapults, zombonis, and even gargantuars. Split Pea, I'll have to put Split Pea in D tier. Yeah. Its offense to the front is just a basic pea shooters. And to the back, you could just use cattails or gloom shrooms as a much better option. Squash. Oh, no, repeater, go back. Squash, I'll put him in B. He's a good single tile damage, insta kill pretty much. But sometimes it can be inconsistent and go a different way than you want him to. Starfruit, put in C. One or a two or three starfruits probably won't do anything, but if you build starfruits practically everywhere, you can probably get pretty far with them only. Sunshroom, put Sunshroom in A tier. It's a sun producer, but it takes a while to get, super good. Plus, it costs the coffee bean to actually use them in pool survival. But if you want to use them, it's not awful. Same with Sunflower. Sunflower, probably the best one to start off with in pool survival, and will help you get your defenses up quicker. Tall Nut, also an S tier. You're practically building this everywhere, on the water for dolphins and on land for pogos and the long jumpers. Tangle Kelp. We'll put in B. It's a nice insta kill, can deal with dolphins or scubas if you need them to. But the recharge time is quite long. And, single damage or single target only. Three Peter. I think I'll put in D. Hmm. Yeah, I think I'll put three Peter in D. It's pretty much just three pea shooters. It'll freeze up space in the other lanes, but you're not really gonna use three Peter at all, really. Torchwood. I'll put Torchwood in B. Because if you're using peas, you practically a need to have. But if you're not building peas, you almost never use them. So C is where he goes. The twin sunflower, I'll put in A as well. Same thing with the other sun producers, but just much better because it gives two. The banana leaf, put the banana leaf in C tier. Not completely bad, but for catapults, you could just use the spikes. So it's mainly used for bungee guys, what I find. And now walnut. Could throw walnut in A tier. It's still a decent wall, but nowhere near as good as tall nut and pumpkin for defending your plants. But if you need to use them, it's not a bad choice. And then watermelon, the ice watermelon, easy S tier. Keeps the high damage and splash of normal watermelon, but adds a slow effect. Yeah. Well, this is my Plants vs. Zombies 1 plants tier list. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Leave your thoughts in the comments. And that is it for this episode.